current IBO champion of the Americas.
Yes.
All right, it's the man himself, a boxer extraordinaire. As you guys know, the whole podcast about Mind Power and this Mind Power podcast is about speaking to the person behind the athlete, the person behind the achievement. I had to bring in Shaquille Finn in the house today. I've heard so much about this guy for years, and I finally have him in the studio. I was one of the first powerhouses to come in the house today. So we're going to have an honest conversation, an authentic conversation, and have you guys kind of have some insight and be part of the whole experience. Shaquille, man, what's up?
Hey, man, what up, man? Appreciate the love, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm happy to be here.
Nah, listen, I'm honored to have you here.
Yeah.
But I wanted to start with, I'm a big person on roots because I think that it's important to know where you're from. In fact, I'll start with a quote my father used to tell me when I was a kid, all the way into my adulthood. He said, you know what, if you want to have clarity of where you're going in life, you have to have a deep appreciation of where you're from.
Yeah.
Right? And when he says where you're from, he's not talking geographically.
Yeah.
He's talking about where you from, man?
Yeah.
What have you survived? What's your journey?
Got you.
What's your story? So Shaquille, what's your story?
I mean, look, I was born here in Montreal.
Oh, yeah?
Born and raised in Montreal. My mom was born here, but she's like she's like two of like, I think they're like maybe like 8 siblings, my aunts and uncles that were born in Jamaica.
8?
I think they were all the way up there. So they're all born in Jamaica, and then family migrated here. Same thing with my dad. My dad was born on Jamaica. Most of the family was born on Jamaica, and they came down here. And then, yeah, so my roots, like Javi is Jamaican.
Yeah.
Obviously born in Canada. But, you know, like obviously like my dad wasn't, in the beginning, wasn't a part of my life, you know.
Yeah.
Things happened, and my mom pretty much raised me and my sister and my brother basically by herself, you know. So, but later on, me and my dad kind of connected, and we had a great relationship. It's like kind of like my best friend too, you know. So, but my mom is like my everything, you know. So, when we talk about roots, it basically comes down to like my mom and my mom's side of the family, family was super important to me, you know. So like that's what I try to instill into my family now too, where family is super important. That's what drives me every day to train harder and to push harder. And anything I do in life, it's basically for family. You know?
I see you have a beautiful family.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
2 kids, Zaire and Xavier.
Yeah.
Is that my saying his name right?
Yeah, Xavier and yeah. So
beautiful family.
I appreciate that, man.
Congrats on that.
Thank you so much, bro. So yeah, definitely the roots for me. It's like, you know, like started off basically like my mom pretty much, you know, she did what she had to do for us to look like everything was right, you know. Like now when I'm looking back, I'm like, damn, she was doing a lot. I thought we were good. But you don't know, you know, the show that she was going through, and then when I would talk to her about it, she's like, yeah, we really didn't have much, but I made it seem like everything, you know what I'm saying? So we would go to school, like, you know, we didn't know we were fucking poor and broke, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But because she made it seem like everything was good, so I really appreciate my mom for that, and yeah, man, she's like my everything. So roots is definitely like, you know, like I said, like my family, man.
Yeah,
and,
it's fair to say you came from and correct me if I'm wrong, a single family home.
Yes, yeah.
Even though you later connected with your father.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a whole deep story that I'm going to dive into that later, right? But you connected with your father, but you actually came from a single family where the mother had to be dad and mom.
Pretty much. My mom had to be dad and mom for a while. I mean, she had, so me and my sister, we have the same dad. And then my dad was in my life. Then afterwards, my mom met another guy like later on in life. Then I had another brother. We lived in the States for a little bit in Rochester, New York.
Oh, wow.
So they had a thing, whatever. And then that ended up, we came back to Montreal, lived with my grandparents, her mom. And then she was just kind of just like, you know, for the longest time, just basically like with 3 kids, you know, just us 3 and going about life, how she was doing it, and raising us how she knew best. And then she met her now husband, great guy. She had 2 other sons with, so she has 5 kids in total. And like it was a big layoff, so it's
3
like
wasn't enough of 5.
Yeah, then like a big layoff, and then she got married to his name's Clayton, and she had my brothers CJ and Rashawn, who are 16 and 13, or 17 and 13. So. Yeah,
Powerful.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned something earlier that kind of caught my ears was your mother raised you, even though you guys were poor and didn't have much.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that, because even though you had less, she made you feel like you had more. So her concept of poor was not so much in material things.
Yeah.
It was more like you were rich. You were rich in love.
There you go.
You were rich in support.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you were rich in being driven with purpose.
Yes.
Right?
So like you're saying, so it's like, us, like sometimes we go to school, not even go to school, like we like I had, like I think I remember I lived in a place where we had roaches everywhere. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like you turn on lights, boom, they're fucking scattered. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
they were paying rent. They were living for free.
Living rent free. So stuff like that. I lived in apartments, fucking roach infested apartments, and things like like eating cereal for dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean? We thought it was like something like, oh yo, we had cereal for dinner. This is lit. But it's because my mom couldn't get fucking supper for us to eat that.
Best cereal ever.
That's what I'm saying.
So we never tasted the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, cereal for dinner, okay, yeah, for sure. We don't want to eat anything else whatsoever. So it's like little things like that, just us, like later on me noticing like little things that she was doing. I'm like, damn, like we didn't have it like that. You know what I mean? And I was maybe even seeing friends at school who, had different things, going to friends' houses and stuff. I'm like, damn, they got a lot of stuff, whatever it is. But my mom made it seem like, everything was good. We didn't have any problems. You know what I'm saying? Like I never, like I said, I never thought it was poor growing up. I only like realized later on, like, damn,
came back.
Exactly.
Like,
there wasn't much. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I want to kind of pass on. I want to bring this to my family where like, they don't have to worry about anything, but I still want them to know that like, things don't come easy,
Yes.
Like, my mom, she worked a couple different jobs, whatever, just for us to keep going to school. We had our books, we had everything because she made that happen. So she made sure that like, okay, we had like we were fed. Every meal we were fed. We had clothes, whatever. We had this, but this because she did so much.
She made you guys rich in a poor environment.
100%.
That's the power of mothers.
100%, man.
The power of mothers. In Africa, we say, I'm from an African background, and they say that iron sharpens iron, right? So the situation and the experience that you had sharpened you for the man you are today, right? When did you decide you want to start knocking people out? Because I've been watching your videos, my guy. You are knocking people back to another dimension. You had your 17th knockout recently?
Yes.
17. 17. People went to sleep. And you're supposed to be a nice guy.
I mean, look, it's funny because like boxing was never a thing that like, when people look at me, look at me and my sister, they're like, yo, how are you in the boxing? She wasn't, because growing up, it's like I was kind of more like the Zen, peaceful guy, like trying to mediate stuff and oh no, don't do that. My sister was like rowdy. She was like getting the fights. So she beat up a dude like who basically picked on me in school. You know what I'm saying? So she's my younger sister, a year and a half younger. I remember her getting the school fights and back in the school, like, yo, Lachelle's fighting. It's gonna be crazy. Here she's fighting in the bus station. So everybody goes to, I'm trying to break shit up. Sometimes just let it be. I'm like, all right, let me, like, 'cause I knew she wasn't gonna lose. She was about that. So everybody never knew that I was the one that was gonna be the one who was a fighter because I was such a nice person.
Right. You still keep up that energy.
Yeah, I'm a nice
very chill.
When it comes to the ring, that's when the difference, it's like Jacqueline Hyde. It's a different type of persona. The Juggernaut comes.
Yes. I want to talk about that though, because whenever I hear you speak, as you can see the board, you can't see the board over there. We did our due diligence. We did our homework with you, right? So I looked at a ton of footage, more than I care to admit, right? And you always seem to have a very calm and measured demeanor. That's what really caught my interest. How is he able to be so violent? How does he wake up, chooses violence, but is a very measured and calm person? I need to get into that mindset. I really need to understand that.
I mean, look, like even in the ring, like my demeanor is always like methodical. Like where I'm like, I have sometimes a slower approach. Some fights, whatever, I'll start off methodical approach, and then when I see like my prey is hurt, whatever, then I pounce and then I come out. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, and I have that style of like, yo, coming forward. And then once I get going, you can't stop me. It's like I'm going forward, can't stop. And I think that's what in real life, whatever, I'm still able to keep that composure. But when I want something, I have the tendency to try and go get it as best I can, So like I'm always moving forward, trying to push to get what I want, So I feel like, just the way I was raised, I wasn't raised somebody who's like, it's like overly hyped. It's always like, like, okay, wait for your opportunity, and then go and take it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
And where did that come from? Like, what inspired that kind of way of thinking? Is it mom? Is it experience? Is it the fact that your father wasn't there? You had to fend for yourself? Or would you say it's like an accumulation of
I think it's that side of me, that protector side. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have my dad growing up, so it's like I want to be the one that was protecting. So like, yo, like I'm always, you know, like that's what it is. I think that's where that side of boxing to me is like, yo, okay, I'm coming to destroy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm protecting mine. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're coming for me, I'm protecting mine.
Right.
So that's what it is in boxing. That's how that comes out. I think the way I was raised, like, yo, I have to be the man of the house. I have to help my mom. I got to do this. I got to do that. So it's like, I think that's the root of like,
yes.
You know, I'm seeing the juggernaut.
I was watching your fight with my son last night.
Yeah.
And the knockout hook, I can't remember, it was a right hook.
Yeah.
Came through, and we didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
So we were both enjoying, it's like, so when you describe yourself as someone who's measured, physically it comes across like that.
Yeah.
But even your demeanor comes across like that.
Yeah.
It's very measured. Even the way you speak, you're not in a hurry to get anywhere fast. It's like, you know, you're gonna get there and you're ready to get there and enjoy the experience in getting there. Now, have you had to pick yourself up from the ground, like in life? Has there been any situations that you come through that has made you the kind of person you are right now?
Well, there's different situations. I mean, like, I'll say, like, when I first started my pro career too, I won my first fight, and then it was like a thing where, I always tell the story, the thing where like, oh, in boxing, like, yo, like there's a hype, you know? So like, won my first fight, it was a good, exciting fight, ended up knocking the guy out in the 4th round. And everybody's like, yo, who's this kid, whatever. Promoters were calling my coach, whatever, and people are calling all over, like, oh, this, okay, shot, you know? And then I took a fight, it was on Adonis Stevenson, former pro boxer, world champion.
Yeah.
He was doing he was a main event on a show in the Videotron Center in Quebec City.
Yeah.
So it was a big card.
Very charismatic guy.
Yeah. Big show. And I was going to be on the undercard. So one of the first 2 fights that were before the TV stuff.
Yeah.
It was a big opportunity. And I was fighting a guy who, like, I should have, like, you beat 10 times. I should have beat 10 times. He shouldn't have had a chance. He didn't have a winning record. It was basically a second fight. Good guy to fight at the point where I was in my career. And I lost. I lost by a split,
split decision.
No, close decision. Not a split. He won unanimously, but it was a close decision, and I lost that fight. And then all the calls that I was having before, all the people who were saying my name is that, it was
disappeared.
Zero. So like, but then I slowly found out who was really about me for me, and not about the hype. So obviously, wifey, 100% there.
Yeah.
Family, mom was there, brothers were there. You know, close friends were still there. Obviously, my coach was telling me, yo, we got to get right back in the gym. If this is what you want to do, you got to come back right back in the gym. And I remember one thing I'll never forget. Russ Amber, he's the owner of Rival Boxing. Here, well, basically it's here and around the world. Whatever. He told me, because he was actually in my corner for that fight. He was my cut man, and he said to me when I went to go to his shop after my fight to go pay him whatever because he was my cut man. And he's like, Shaq, like, you got to rethink things. If you can't beat guys like that, maybe it's not the sport for you.
Wow.
So he told me that straight up. He was being completely real with me. And I said, okay. So I went back to the gym. I had a little down period, and like a good, like, I would say like maybe a good 2 weeks where I was like, I was in my room. I was like, yo, what am I doing? You know, coach was like, come back to the gym. Wifey's like, go back to the gym, get back into it. My coach finds me another fight. It was in Baltimore, kind of like a last minute fight against a guy from the States down there. I took it, we flew out there, I won. And then I just kept on, when I was on a win streak for a while, and obviously the hype comes back, but then I already knew who was there for me, but at that point I was like really low. It was like I really felt the lows of boxing, like it hit hard, like promoters are gone. People who were like saying your name, gone. And it's like, damn, like that's it? That's how fast you can
Party's over,
You know what I'm saying? So my coach always tells me, like, people always remember you for your last injury. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what have you done for me lately? So you lost? All right, cool, we ain't about you. That's the thing in sports that kind of suck. That people can switch up like that. You know? So that's what I found out right away. Like, okay, who's for me and who's not really there for me.
You said something interesting though, like the close people were there for you. Those were your anchors right there. But were you there for you?
I think
did you believe in yourself?
In the beginning,
did you lose confidence? Do you still believe in yourself?
Right? Yeah, 100. Right now, the belief is confidence to the roof. You know what I'm saying? But that point, I didn't. It took the people that are around me to kind of bring me up and be like, yo, bro, what are you talking about?
Yes.
This is what you're made to do.
Yeah.
We know how you are, bro. You had a hiccup, but yo, you're gonna let that take you down. You know what I'm saying? You can't. You know what I mean? So you got to just keep pushing through. So like these things have, my coach has been through a bunch of things in his career. He told me he's been through stuff like that. So he's like, Shaq, this is something you want to do. Get the fuck out of bed, bro. Get in the gym and let's work. You know what I mean? So, and that was it. I just kind of took it from there and just kind of pushed there. So like, it was a great experience, a great life experience that I learned that like, yo, who's with me, who's not, and just learn about myself.
Yeah. So that experience now, in your own words, a great life experience that I learned.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a loss, it was a learning experience.
Yes.
I'm guessing you bounced back
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. 100%.
Because if you didn't bounce back better,
Yeah.
your streak lately has been vicious.
Yeah.
It's been like the guy came back and now we got to see the true potential of what you were building
100%.
for. So sometimes the worst experience brings out the best.
100%.
You
100%.
really agree with that? Now I want to touch on something though. That guy, the owner of Rivalry you mentioned, right? That statement that he made when he made it, at that time, be honest, did you think it was a positive comment at the time, or was it hard for you to hear it?
It was hard for me to hear for sure, because like he's been around boxing for years.
Yes,
he's worked with Otis and Howard. He's kind of when we let them start, Otis and Howard Grandmaster.
Yes.
Yeah. So those guys, like he's gotten a lot of guys started. He's been in the corner of like the best pros in the world. You know what I'm saying? And he's telling me like, yo, I mean, yo, if you got to rethink things. If this is the guy you can't beat, then this is a sport you're not supposed to be in this sport. So I think it was a thing where I took negatively at first, and I was like, damn, yo, like he really got me thinking. Like I'm probably not meant for this sport. I thought I was ready, but I'm not ready for this type of stuff, you know. So, but it was something that kind of triggered something in me too. I think I was like, yo, I'm a competitor, bro.
Right.
Like me, I like to compete. So if I lose, I got to come back. I have to come back.
So you had to remind yourself of
Yes, exactly.
I am a competitor.
Exactly.
And in that sport of being a competitor, this is what happens.
100%.
It's part of the course.
Yeah.
When he said that comment, that would break some people.
Yeah, for sure.
But it made you come up.
I think that was definitely one of the things that really like triggered me to do better.
Right. And some people would see that
as a way out, right? As a okay, all right, I'm done. You're probably right. Man.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's it. I don't belong here. And I'm a fucking do something else.
Yeah. Were you grateful to him then, or are you grateful to him now?
Now. 100%. Then I was like, nah, fuck you. You know? I'm like, nah. But it took some time, and I always tell him the story, but somebody's like, I don't remember that shit. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But for me, it was something that hit me harder, obviously, than from him saying, you know, like, it hit me really hard. And I always like tell the story. I'm like, damn, this is what you told me. And he's like, oh shit, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
He's like, we were really good friends, man. They sponsored me for like my fight and stuff. So
yeah, it's just that in life, a lot of people hear the truth, but it's hard for them to take.
Yeah.
And they label it as a hater comment. Not everybody, not everybody that loves you is on your side. And not everybody that says comments that you consider a hateful comment and don't want you to win. Exactly. They probably want you to genuinely rethink.
100%.
There's nothing wrong with saying,
There's
hey,
nothing.
if you want to do this, rethink it.
Yeah. You gotta think like a sport like boxing is not meant for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think like, yo, we're getting hit in the head for a living. You know what I'm saying? You're getting punched. You know what I'm saying? So like any type of contact sport, like football, these type of things, but it's like, you know, boxing is like, yo, it's really a dangerous sport.
Right.
You can't be in this sport for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an unforgiving sport. You know what I mean? Even the guys who made whatever, a bunch of money, millions, like, you know, sometimes they're left where they can't speak or whatever it is. You know, guys from way back in the day, you know, RP Muhammad Ali got Parkinson's, like these things like this. I mean, like guys went through it, you know, doing this sport. So it's a sport where, you know, like you got to think like, yo, is this something you really want to do? Or, you know what I mean? Or like, you got to take it seriously.
That's right.
You can't be half-assed in this sport.
No, you can't. You can't. Not anything you're passionate about. I want to go to the part that we can't see, right? The part of the audience where the lights are not there. The locker room, right? I call it the locker room, the dressing room for a boxer, right? What's going through your mind at that point? Is there self-doubt before you faced a big competition? That anybody could knock you out.
Yeah.
You know, we're all applauding you right now.
Right punch can happen to anybody. The best in the best in the world. Yeah. Anybody can get touched.
And if you've never boxed before, people can't really appreciate how tough boxing is. Like I boxed, I was a rugby athlete. And I had to do some boxing for just to stay in shape.
Yeah, for sure.
And just the first round of doing it, I was looking for help. I could have called an Uber driver.
For sure. I got you.
And then at one point I got hit, and I'm supposed to be the big guy and threw a punch. But the guy I was sparring with, we were about the same size, but I was bigger. But he got me with a clean shot. I think I traveled 3 different continents within 2 seconds.
Got you.
That's the sport.
Yeah.
It's like you could get touched by anybody.
For sure.
Now, knowing that you walked into the arena, but you're in the locker room, what's your mindset? Are you already confident of what's going to happen, or are you still processing it in that room? What's going on between your 2 ears?
So, I got kind of like the Mike Tyson approach. I remember when I used to play football, before I started playing football, I remember he said something like, you know, like when you kind of get, you know, you get first call for the fight, it's a bunch of nerves, whatever. Yeah. But the more and more camp goes on, the more confident you get, the closer and closer you get to the actual event, the ring, whatever, you're just at an all-time high of confidence. So there's obviously like getting ready, you're hearing about the fight, there's a little bit of nerves. You check out when I'm checking my opponent out, there's nerves. Okay, what can I do to catch this guy? How hard does he punch? You think about a bunch of different stuff, you know? So then you put in the work. Then when I get to the venue, or, you know, or I'm like right about to get out, like, yo, I know all this stuff I put in. So then I'm like, my confidence level is at an all-time high then. So I'm sitting in the locker room, and I'm saying to myself, yo, I did everything I can to get ready for this fight. There was no freaking day where I was like, yo, where I was like, oh shit, I didn't run that day.
Yeah.
Or I should have did something that day. So like, fuck, I shouldn't have did that day. So I have all these things, like, thinking back in the back, I'm like, no, everything is clear.
Yeah.
I prepared properly. I practiced well. Everything was perfect. So then I have nothing to worry about.
So preparation builds confidence?
100%. Exactly. I couldn't have put it better.
Yeah, because if you're unprepared, you're thinking, how's that going to get me?
There you go.
In this game, I wonder if I don't get caught out, if it doesn't take me to the deep end.
For most people, it's like you're thinking like, damn, I didn't do enough.
Yeah.
So if you have in your mind that you did everything you possibly can, then what can stop you? You know what I'm saying? Like you know everything went well. Like I know all my sparring trainings went super well by the ending of camp. Everything ended on a high note. And I put it all in all the work. So
you know what? This takes me to my last question about that space of your actual sport is, what if you plan, you prepare, and things don't go according to plan in the ring? Your strategy didn't work out.
That happens. I mean, you just have to be able to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm like what, I have 30 fights now. I'm 26, 3-1. So I have 3 losses and 1 draw. That happened at different parts of my career.
What a record, though.
Yeah, and with 17 knockouts. So I mean, I'm doing. Yeah,
that's a stellar record.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Boxing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, we've been working. I mean, even the losses that I take, obviously taking them as learning experiences too. And I mean, it's things where like, yo, like you said, like sometimes I had the same mentality. The preparations were done well, and I just couldn't execute the game plan properly, or I couldn't adjust the way I need to adjust. Right. But like. I took those and basically went to training, got back to work, and then you work on those things that you weren't able to adapt on. You know, maybe the guy was tall and he had a good jab and I couldn't get past it. Okay, yo, this camp we're sparring against tall guys. I need to figure out how to get.
There's always a way through.
There's always a way. Maybe the fast guy was too fast. I couldn't get past. So we're fucking bringing in smaller, faster guys to spar with. Right. Like, stuff like that, you know, maybe he was too rugged on the inside, couldn't get past like the pushing. So that's what we're gonna work on in camp. So always a way to kind of get.
It's what I always love about boxing. It's not the aggressive side. Boxing is like an art for me.
It really is.
I grew up on boxing.
It's a physical game of chess, right?
Yeah, it really is a physical game of chess. People don't give enough credit to the IQ of boxing.
Yes.
But boxing is like life. The whole sport itself
really is
life.
100%. I say it all the time to my wife. Yes.
You know what I mean? It's really, you can have everybody in your corner talking to you and giving you all the advice. Yeah. But you're the one that's fighting.
Yeah. It's very true.
Which is like life.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna give you all the advice you want.
Yeah.
But you're gonna go live your life.
That's one thing that kind of made me gravitate more to boxing when I was playing football. Because it was kind of our story was kind of similar. You said you were playing rugby, you went to a training ball.
Yes.
So I had the same type of story. Was I was playing football, and then in the off season when I was like when I first started boxing was like around like 2021. Off season of football, I was playing college. Yeah. And I wanted some extra training. It's like, oh, I heard it's good for the hips and different stuff like that.
Yes.
Hand-eye coordination. I was like, okay, cool. Going to the gym, and first 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Coach like, yo, you want to try sparring? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try sparring, whatever. He shows me the guy I'm sparring with. I'm like, the guy looks a little light. You know, I said, no, don't worry about it. I didn't know the guy was the best guy in the gym at the time. He was like 145 pounds maybe at the time. And I was like maybe like 210. I played running back. You know, I was a pretty stocky guy, whatever. Yeah. Okay, I'll be fine. You know.
Yeah. You got it.
Humbled. I'm saying so.
Welcome to boxing.
First round, pieced me up, nose is bleeding. I'm fucking like this.
Ego down.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay, I see now. I'm saying it doesn't matter, like
Size doesn't matter.
does not matter in sport. You know, that's what I saw. Like, it's a real art form.
It's not.
It's like, bro, this guy was dancing around, doing everything he wanted to do, and it made me look stupid. So it's a point. I was like, okay, the coach said, you want to go to Roma? I'm like, nah, I'll come back. But not like I'm good. Like,
it is one of the few sports I feel as though, like they say, you don't play boxing.
No, you don't.
It's one of the few.
Famous saying by Roger Mayweather.
That's right. You don't play boxing.
You don't play, man.
And he also said he ain't no shit about boxing.
Exactly. There you go. There you go.
But I like the fact that boxing is one of the sports where you could take someone's advantage and use it and make it their disadvantage.
For sure. 100%.
If someone's strong
Yeah.
and they don't know how to use their strength, and they're aggressive,
Yeah.
you can typically use your timing
Countering.
and counter
100%.
and then it's over.
100%.
So you just use his advantage, his strength against it.
Yeah.
I wanna, and I'm doing this way later than I expected to, but I wanna dive into family.
Yeah.
Because it seems to me that with all your accomplishments, the way you posture on social media anyway, is that your greatest achievement was your family.
100%, man. So I had like a pretty long layoff. It was like the COVID kind of pandemic years. So I had my so 2019 was like a big high and a big low for me. So 2019, I had probably one of the biggest wins of my career. It was like I won the North American, the IBF and NEBF North American titles. So I was ranked like in the top 20 of the world.
Wow.
And then we thought that, okay, things were going to start rolling, whatever, big calls and that. Then it was like nothing was happening. Then by the end of the year, I had to take this weird fight out in Poland against a guy, you know, who I was like, there was like, why am I fighting this guy, you know? So went to Poland, ended 2019, lost to this guy, a guy I probably should have beat. He was undefeated. Should have beat him. It was just a weird fight, weird trip. It was like everything was just weird about that whole experience. And then after that, I was like, okay. Then COVID kind of came in. I was like, okay, why? Then they shot me to do a comeback fight. So I was supposed to be at a casino. We did the weigh-in, everything like that. It's like my comeback fight.
Right.
And then that was off. Then we got a call like the day after. Casinos closed, COVID, your points getting sent back to Mexico.
Wow.
Everything shut down. So then it was like, okay, so I'm off boxing. I focus because I train people as own personal trainer, boxing coach, whatever. So I focus all my stuff on just training people.
Yeah.
So making good money, whatever, meeting new people. I'm like, I guess I'm boxing. I'm like, all right, we're good.
Doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. So like, we're good doing this. Still like a little bit depressed from just not, just the last fight and just going on with life like everything's good, but I think deep down in myself, I was like, I don't know. It's not a good feeling, you know?
Yeah, it's your passion. You can't run away from it.
Exactly. Wifey gets pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is great because we're trying and nothing's happening. Then boom, we get. Then she says she's pregnant. Gives birth January 14th.
To Zaire.
Yeah, to Zaire.
Okay.
And of last year. So 2 years ago, and. Boom, got a little man, and then I'm like, shit, wow, like this is amazing, the best feeling of my life, you know. So I got something that, I got a little man I can teach him that he's gonna follow me around and exactly, really a mini me. And then there's I'm thinking about boxing, I'm thinking about things I've done, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna tell my son when he asks me about what I used to do. Oh, Daddy, why did you stop boxing then? Well, I'm gonna say, oh, because of COVID. But there's times to come back.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I was telling him, because COVID. But you lost. You didn't want to come back and do like, I can't end my career off. I don't want to tell him I didn't want to come back because I lost and I just said fuck it. So called my coach back up. We were kind of going through some disagreements throughout the COVID years, whatever.
Yeah.
Called him like, yo, brought my son to the gym. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to come back. Wow. He told me there's a show. It was May of that year. He's like, let's get back to work.
So your son became your why.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
your son became your why.
100%.
That's a whole different kind of why.
Yeah.
As a father myself, I can tell
you know the feeling, right?
It's different.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing that could stop you.
Nothing.
until you're stopped.
Exactly.
It ain't over to the fat lady scene.
Exactly. 100%.
You know what I mean?
It's an amazing feeling, man. I feel like he brought me more purpose, and like you said, he's my why. So getting ready back into to gym for this was like, it felt easier because I knew what I would like. You know, before my childhood, before I was boxing, I was like, yeah, I'm doing it for this and doing it for that. But yo, this is like different. It was like, yo, I'm really doing it for something bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like for my kid, for my family, for him. You know, so getting back to the gym, won my first fight back. Then calls are coming in. Yo, Shaq's back. Signed with a promoter from Ontario. Then just been on a freaking hot streak and just been doing well since, basically, like, you know.
And your wife, she's able to accommodate the schedule of training.
She's the best, man. She's honestly, bro.
She seems like your number one supporter.
Yeah, rock, bro. Like straight up number one, bro. Like she makes things.
What's her name?
Valerie.
Valerie.
Yeah, Valerie. She makes things, bro. Like I love her to death, man. She makes things super easy, even in the toughest times. Because like, I mean, there's times obviously now especially now we got 2 kids.
Yeah.
But even when we had the one, when I was getting ready for fights and stuff like that, I was like, with the kid now too, with Zaire, and then with the addition of Xavion, it's like camp life now is a little bit different where I got to try and help her out too. But she makes sure that like, yo, don't worry, I got it covered. After camp, you owe me. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be here now, taking care of your kids a little bit more than I was before. But like, she understands, man. She knows I love this sport, and I'm doing this for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So see, that's what I was gonna ask you. You know, it's like, it's not all perfect.
Yes.
The imperfection makes it a perfect family.
100%.
That's the real deal.
Yeah.
So from a family standpoint, even in the worst of times or the toughest of times, she's too tall.
She stood tall, man. Like we've been through it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like highs and lows, bro. Like throughout having kids and stuff. Because I mean, it's hard, man. Like some people don't like to talk about there's a lot of joys of having children.
Yes.
There's a lot of tough parts too. Exactly. Especially when you have a partner, a life partner. It's like you have a kid, and then there's things that you kind of separate a little bit. Then you try to come back, and it's it's different because you have a kid.
Yeah.
So all the attention is on the little kid. So then you kind of you feel like you're just going through the motions a little bit in your relationship. So we always got to find time to like, yo, we got to sit down and talk. Like, yo, what's up?
Do you find time for you? You guys find time for you?
We're trying more and more now.
Yeah.
I always say, I said this to my boys actually just the other night, you know, like, because I feel like I'm still trying to get used to my new addition, which is Xavion. He's only 4 months.
Yeah.
So it's like we had him so close, but we kind of didn't have time to me and her to connect, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a restarting, but like we're always trying to find time for ourselves. But I'm always trying to make time for her and the kids as well. So and trying to give my all my attention. That's one thing I gotta try and work on myself, is give them everything I can. You know,
it seems like a special for me, and that's one of the reasons I was so drawn to your story and your journey. Is that in the middle of all the minutiae and the hype and everything, you seem very grounded and authentic.
Yeah.
Authenticity is a big deal, right?
100%.
Is that part of the example you want to leave for your kids?
100%, man. Like that's like, you know,
like if it's bad, it's bad. It's rough, it's rough.
Yeah, man. You know? You gotta be. It's real, man. Like like I don't want to teach them like sugarcoat anything. You know what I'm saying? Because I never was sugarcoating shit when I was growing up either. You know what I mean? Like my mom made it be known sometimes, like, yo, like, let's go, buck up. You gotta do this shit. You know what I mean? So. And that's the same way I want to raise my children, and obviously make sure they're able to get through some stuff, but make sure that they can handle things too.
Right. I got a question for you. If your kids thought about you as a superhero, what superpowers do you think Zaire and Xavier would want you to have?
Damn.
What superpower? What superpower would they want you to have?
I'm guessing, probably super strength and like. Probably be able to fly. You know what I'm saying? Like super strength, be able to fly.
Kind of flying around.
Kind of like Superman. Like Superman. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I got another one back to that. If your wife wanted you to be a superhero, what superpower would she want you to have? Yeah. She's your wife or just your partner?
She's my fiance.
Okay, she's your fiance. Yeah. So what superpower would she want you to have?
Damn, the power to not procrastinate.
Okay. I thought the power to wash dishes faster, pick up the trash.
Super speed, bro. Super speed, bro. 100%.
Right. You're so blessed in many ways, and I love the fact that you appreciate it and you recognize it in real time.
Yeah.
You're not waiting to be a millionaire. You're not waiting to be multi-successful than you already are right now. but it seems as though you're already appreciating the present. That's the vibe I get. But in your case, it seems genuine.
Yeah.
Very genuine.
Yeah.
What is the legacy you want to leave for yourself?
I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, just that, like, yo, the legacy I would love to leave for myself, and like, obviously for my kids to always know, like, yo, that I always work hard for what I wanted, and that I was always good to people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always, like, good to people. You put out good comes back.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm a big believer in, like, you know, like, law of attraction, too.
Yes.
You know, you're like, whatever you put out to the world, it should come back to you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, just like I was always a good person, as good as I could be.
Yes.
And, yeah, man.
If you had to advise someone, and thanks for that insight, I appreciate that. But if you had to advise someone that is going through an athlete like yourself that has a dream and have a vision to be as successful as you become, and you haven't even touched the surface of where you want to go.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because your potential is crazy right now. But if someone's trying to get there, what advice would you give them, especially if they're thinking about quitting? Because I know you keep it real.
Yeah.
You know, like that guy kept it real too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like, you know, how I wrote
the
book you have is you know, nothing, obviously things that the people would say is like nothing comes easy. You know, nothing, because really nothing comes easy.
That's right.
And sometimes like opportunity, some people like to wait for opportunities to come, show up, whatever. Sometimes you gotta make those opportunities, right? Like, I mean, you know, closed mouths don't get fed.
That's right.
That's right. So you gotta, if you want something, you gotta go up there and get it. It's real, and it's real shit. I mean, it's been said a lot of times, but it's the realest shit ever. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's gonna just come to you. So sometimes things can come, but most of the time you gotta go out and go grab them.
I love that, because there's a quote I heard a while back. I don't know if it's a quote on the Vice, and I say it when I give my speeches around the world. It said, if you want something, it's never handed to you.
Yeah.
You have to go out there and take it.
Take that shit.
Not even go out there and go out there and take it.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like a raw
I mean,
mentality.
I mean, the most successful people in the world is, you know, that's what they've done.
That's what they've done.
The most successful athletes in the world, that's what they've done. You know what I mean? Like, they don't wait for handouts. I mean, Kobe, you know what I mean? Jordan, all these guys, LeBron. I mean, these guys have that mentality, especially Kobe, and his mentality, mom mentality. It's about going and get it. I mean, like, make these things happen every day. And I'm saying don't leave any stone unturned. I'm saying you got to go and make that shit happen for yourself. So if somebody's thinking about quitting, just think about if you have people in your life that is around you, think about like, okay, yo, what are you doing it for?
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's always a deeper.
What's the purpose?
Exactly. What's the purpose behind it? Is it something like, okay, maybe sometimes you have the wrong purpose and you just have to find the right one.
Right.
I mean, maybe, or sometimes maybe stuff is not really meant for you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a law sometimes will make you see like, oh, I'm actually meant to do this instead.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
And not maybe the thing that I thought I was gonna do.
Right.
I mean, like, oh, I took a loss in boxing, but I know I love the sport. Fuck, maybe I'm meant to coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'm meant to maybe I can train boxers. I can teach. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe there's things doors that can open. I mean, like, I have a friend who does film. And he was telling me, he's like, yo, after a boxing career, you could fucking go into movies and shit. Right. I've been filming so much. You've already been talking to people. You talk to shit. Right. You already have you can go in front of crowds and stuff like that. It's easy for you. Do auditions and already people would gravitate towards you because of that.
You couldn't have said it better. There's a way I say it too, in line with the way you say it, is you don't change the destination, change the path
there you go.
to the destination. Maybe the left side didn't work.
Exactly.
Maybe you need to go to the right side.
Exactly. And then, I mean, sometimes you get more successful than the original.
That's right.
The original path that you were going to take.
That's right.
And so there's always a way, you know what I mean? You never have to leave whatever you loved, whatever. There's always a way to get to that certain destination.
Just so I have this, and now I have the chance of having you here, I can't let you run away from me without asking everything under the sun. What's your relationship with fear?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever been asked that question before in any type of podcast. I think fear is something that I feel like I always try to make it like push me a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, because I don't want this to happen. I don't want to, like, the fear of disappointing, the fear of like losing, the fear of is mostly disappointing. I think that's my biggest fear. Is like always like, damn, I had all these people come out for me. Damn, I don't want to disappoint them.
Right.
So it pushes me to kind of like, yo, I'm gonna fucking do
the best out of you.
Exactly.
Yes, I've always said that if people could fail in private, they would have no fear. They'll get up every time.
100%,
It's the
100%.
fear
Yeah.
of embarrassment
Yes,
of other people.
And that's a sport like boxing, bro. Like you're fucking all over, right? I mean, guys go viral getting knocked out. I'm saying that's embarrassing as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I never want to be on somebody's highlight reel. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather make my own highlight reels.
Oh, right, crap,
Shit. So it's obviously there's that fear and stuff.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, but it's like that always pushes me too.
Yes.
I always use those type of fears to kind of like, yo, don't want that shit to happen to me.
Someone out of Montreal told me this. It's a guy that's told me this. And I like the way he put it. And I've used it many times in my speeches again. He said to me, behind fear is freedom. You're never fearful about something you don't care about.
That is facts, though. Yeah.
Think about it. If you really have that anxiety, that feeling,
Yeah.
that means what you're going after matters
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Like it means that
Yeah,
much where
for
you're
sure.
fearful
100%.
of losing it or not being successful
Yeah.
at it. So that's the way I see it now. So you've got to repurpose or have a different perspective on fear. Use fear.
Yeah.
And don't let fear use you.
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
I did a whole speech on that. Like you're fearful, you got that knot in your stomach. See it as indicative
Yeah.
of how bad you want it.
Exactly.
And then you can
That makes
show
a lot
up.
of sense, though. I like
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, man, I love how you show up
Appreciate that.
in every aspect of your life. Every aspect, whether you're boxing, whether you're with your kid. I saw you in the Halloween outfit with your, that was hilarious. I was watching the post like, hey, what? That was like, I love that you guys can have fun in yourself.
Yeah,
Like, life is good, man.
for sure.
It ain't perfect.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it perfect.
100%, man. I love that.
You see what I'm saying? That's what makes it great.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage you, not that you need it, to continue to lead and inspire through the way you live. Because that's the most authentic way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How important is your mindset to you?
It's everything, right? I mean, you have to, like, you got to think, like, going, like you said, boxing kind of like life. So anything I do, you got to have to be obviously in the right mind state, right, to do things. I mean, if I wake up and I'm feeling like shit and I'm going to the gym and I'm giving my clients half of me, whatever, my mindset's not there, then it's going to be a bad day. You know what I'm saying? But if I try to wake up and be in a good mindset, try to set the tone for the day, then mindset is everything. You know what I'm saying? Like going into the ring, mindset has to be right. You can't be freaking all over the place. You know what I mean? I have to be focused. You know what I mean? So
all your efforts would be in vain if your mindset is right.
Exactly. So I mean, with my kids, you know what I'm saying? The mindset sometimes it can be tough at times, but I always have to try to be like, okay, Zaire needs this. I gotta, like, he needs me right now. I gotta be focused. You know, my mindset has to be A1, bro. Like, even on my toughest days, you know, maybe I had a shitty sparring and I come home and fucking got a busted lip. Damn, like, I'm like, shit, I had it in my mind the whole day, but I gotta make sure I show up for my family and show up for, like, obviously for work, whatever, for clients and stuff like that. Mindset is everything.
And you would say you have a positive perspective in life. It's always positive. That's correct.
I try to be as positive as possible. Like, even in the most negative times, you have to try and find the positive out of these type of things. You know, like I said, in loss, you learn from it. And the negative stuff that happens in your life, you have to learn from it as well.
Yeah, Shaquille Finn. I can't, am I saying your name right?
Yes.
Listen, I can't say this in any other way. You are a powerhouse in many different avenues.
Much respect, man.
In many different avenues. And I've been watching you for years.
Yeah.
And I just said that before, but I really believe that there's a lot of people watching that you're inspiring you don't even know about.
Man, it makes me happy to hear that from you, man, especially knowing the story that you told me before we started.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of accolades yourself, man, and I love to see, and I aspire to see like other black men like myself doing big things. And, you know, like, obviously when my career is done, I want to be more out there and doing stuff like how you were telling me before, philanthropy and doing stuff for kids and, you know, just, it's amazing to see, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love to see our people, like, make it, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, we've been put down a lot, and I love to see, like, you know, us thrive in a different type of thing. So
absolutely,
it's amazing to see, man.
And you being the example of that.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, my man.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Much love.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Check in. That's it.
That was dope.
Oh, that was dope. That was powerful.
Yeah.
You see, that's why I do this. That's why I do
super authentic, bro.
Yeah. That's why I want to keep it. And it's going to be in a vote.
Yeah.
So, like, my agent was asking me, why did they have me traveling a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to be going to, where is it? I can't remember where I'm going, actually. Turkey.
Okay.
Supposed to be going to Turkey to speak. And he's like, you don't have time for a podcast.
Yeah.
I said, that's the reason I want to do it. I need to be in control of my time.
Gotcha.
If I'm not in control of my time, then what's the point?
Yeah.
It's the only thing I do have.
Yeah.
Your time is your most valuable asset.
That's very true.
Like the time you spend here right now, you can't get it back.
Yeah.
That's it. And we're not getting any younger. It's like,
Sure.
I was saying the other day, I was speaking to my father one day. I was laughing, chopping it up like we are. And I said to my dad, I'll call you in the morning.
Yeah.
There's no problem because I was getting a call.
Yeah.
If I knew that was the last time I was going to speak to him,
Yeah.
I called him the next day.
Yeah.
His brother picks it up and it's like, sorry, we're in the middle of it. Your dad just had a heart attack. That's how it went. That's how it went down. So that is how you kind of like, interesting.
Yeah.
But my father would not want me with my head in the dust.
No.
He was like, he would be the one laughing about
Yeah.
the situation. Like, God, can you believe I died?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm beginning to put life in context and say, you know what? Live your life like it's a page in your book that your kids are gonna read.
Yeah.
Like, what are they gonna take from every chapter?
Yeah. I like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how you gotta live your life.
like that.
It's like, okay, my kid's reading this. Oh, jeez, I hope my kid gonna say I did today.
Yeah.
Man, I could have done better today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
I just cursed at an old lady. I gotta rewrite. I gotta rewrite that one chapter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much.
No
bro.
problem, man.
It means a lot.
Hey, anytime.
Being involved. Yeah.
That's dope.
No, there's so many things down the road that I could reach out to you for and see what you want. You know what I do with kids here and all that. I'm all over the school.
I'm always down to. That's also one of my buddies who's into like he does stuff like community centers and stuff.
Yes.
And I said like I'm always down to do more flashy stuff, whatever.
Yes.
Getting out there, talking to kids. There's a guy right now I know one of my buddies hooked me up with. I'm supposed to call. He does like stuff in prisons.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where like talks like that, whatever.
Yes.
So like those are all things that I'm
in Arizona.
that I'm down to do. Like just to kind of like because I like to do that kind of stuff. I like to talk to people, tell them my story, and try to motivate them to do something better.
Yes.
Even kids. I mean like. If you were a guy who came to my school, that'd be amazing because like, yo, you look like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when somebody like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, a white guy comes in, whatever, and tell you something like, but you don't know what I've been through.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You've been the lowest lows. Like, you've been like, you know, you're from Africa. You grew up poor.
Yeah.
And you made it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I would have heard guys like that speak to me, I'm like, oh shit, we can do more.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to be for the kids down in schools now. It's like, yo, I can talk to these kids. Like, yo, there's other venues, there's other things you can.
You're some of the brightest people.
Yeah.
I did that in Arizona.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the organization now, but I did that in Arizona. My whole team and I did.
Yeah.
And I was shocked to see some of the brightest people I met in prison.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So it's like even my pops, I mean, he got incarcerated. Right? So like, you know, so he was in jail for a long time, but he's very wise, right? So like, when we talk now, like he tells me things, I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
if you look at their story, there's something consistent about that, is that they are so bright that the world and the way the world's set up frustrates them when they were kids. So out of frustration, they went the wrong way and decided to go do things.
For sure.
Because they think differently.
Yeah.
And the rest, most other people are very regimented. They follow the status quo. They do as they're told. But these guys, it's like saying, I hate to say it like this, it's like saying, if you don't get caught, you're a genius. You get caught, you're a prisoner.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing so raw term, but you get where I'm going with that. Like, you're a vanguard. You took risks. You tried something new.
For sure.
Oh, you failed? Oh, you're a bomb. Oh, it worked? Man, tell me how you did that.
There you go.
You're a genius.
It's true.
This is life as we have it.
It is. For sure.
I can talk to you for hours.
For sure,
You know what I mean?
You got good energy, man.
Mind Power.